Oh, hi everybody. Thanks for joining. Okay, I'm back. How is everybody doing today? Let me know where you're joining me from. I'm going to shoot the breeze with you guys a little bit before I kind of start telling you a little bit of my story that I've been going through, and who knows, maybe this is something that some of you might be able to take home and integrate in your own spiritual journey, in your own self-actualization journey. Is Yahweh and El the same God? Well, I have doubts about Yahweh. Thank you so much for that beautiful question, Shivani. From all my studies and from my inner journey, my inner introspection, my understanding of who Yahweh is sort of a demigod. So in other words, the God of the Bible is not the real God. It couldn't be the real God. It could not possibly be the real God. And this is one of the reasons why when I was 13 years old, I walked away from the church, from the Christian Orthodox Church, because I could not bring myself to love a God who wanted me to live in fear, because this is what this God wants you to do, is to live in fear, to fear him and to fear, you know, hell and damnation and all that stuff. So the truth of the matter is, the God, the creator, the source, the monad, is what split into light and dark, into dark and light. It's darkness, it's a light darkness, it's a void, this monad. And in order for the monad to express itself into physical form, it's split into dark and light. It created what we humans deemed duality, but in fact it's nothing but polarity, because the universe, according to the Hermetic principles, is mental. The all God is mind, and the mind contains both aspects of everything: the good, the bad, the light, the dark, the hot, the cold. So they're not separate things. Light and dark are not two things separate from each other. They're nothing but two ends of the same thing, two poles of the same thing. There is no clear delimitation where light starts and dark ends, where cold starts and hot ends, and so on. So basically, when the monad split, the monad is the I. Yes, if you read any of Stephen Hawking's writings, David Hawkins' writings, I get these two guys mixed up sometimes. Dr. David Hawkins, The Eye of the I and the Power versus Force, like some of these amazing books that you could read and understand better what the meaning of the whole thing is. So the I split into dark and light became the I am. The light is basically the awareness of who we are, the infinite potential. The I am decided, oh, I am that and that and that and that. In other words, the creation of all realities happened in the moment of the split between dark and light. So we are basically one with the light, one with the monad, but we express the light. So Ein Sof, let's say, in the Kabbalistic teachings. So basically, when you look at the divine creation, it goes through us. It's an emanation through each and every one of us. So the light emanates into each and every one of us, into infinity of versions of humans and rocks and dogs and cats and trees and everything else, because it's all one and it's all created from the same I amness. So that is the truth about Yahweh and God. I know that there's a lot of wonderful things in the Bible that are absolutely true. And I know that a lot of the things in the Bible are taken literally by the religious organizations for a specific purpose. But the Bible is actually written, in a sense, as an allegory for the human physiology of the awakening of the Christ consciousness. And if you couple it with the teachings of Jesus, especially if you were to read the Gospel of Thomas as well. This is the Gospel of Thomas by Jean-Yves Leloup. So this is the guy that I recommend. If you get the Gospel of Thomas, get it by this guy, because he gives some really good explanation of all the logions, and it teaches you everything that Jesus was teaching, also in a metaphorical way, because Jesus spoke in parables. Muhammad invites you to co-host. Muhammad, I don't know you. I would love to bring you in, but if you would like to talk to me prior to one of my lives, we can get together and talk. But other than that, I'm not open just yet to have commentaries, unless you have something very, very important. I would like to speak about something that it has been on my heart and I wanted to share with you. But of course, I am more open to what you guys want me to talk to. So, okay, let me do this. I'm going to look through the comments here, because it looks like there's a lot of comments. And I just want to make sure that... Hi, Queen. Hi, UFO. Good to see you. Elementos, good to see you. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the roses. Thank you for the flowers. Thank you for the hearts. Yes, send me some hearts. Let's see some hearts. Thank you for the wonderful joining the club. I love it. I love it. Thank you. I appreciate it all. Thank you. That is so cool. Okay, all right. So that's my story right now as far as God is concerned. I would love to talk to you about fascia. You know, it's very interesting, Stace, because a few years ago, I had one of those Rolfing things done, like 10 sessions. It was one of the right things, like the proper way to do it. And I really loved it. And I think it's a wonderful, wonderful way to bring ourselves back in balance and in harmony, because yes, the skin is the biggest organ, right? So, yep. We will talk about it. Reach out to me and we can chat one of these days, Stacy. Let me know. I wanted to let you guys know that, and if you've been following my journey, I don't know if you have been reading, I've been following my videos, listening to my videos, but back in June, I went to Romania to spend time with my mother, because she's getting old, and also because my dog had passed away, and I realized that, okay, I don't have that many obligations here in the States anymore, so I could go and spend more time with my mother. So I stayed 3 months, and it was a very, 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 very difficult time. Because I realized, maybe for the first time in my life, how powerless I was regarding my mother's health, because she's 81 years old and she's losing her mind, and it's hard, and she has all kinds of issues, pains and shoulders and knees and all that stuff. So, and we have all kinds of obligations there. We have a house in the countryside. We have 3 dogs there. We have an apartment in the city. And it's a lot. It's a lot. I spend time there taking care of the business, like literally buying appliances, cleaning up, doing everything that you can possibly imagine to do for a parent who is alone. There's only the two of us left in this world. My father's passed away. I don't have any brothers and sisters, and we're far away from each other. So I went there with a thought that I will stay 3 months, I will return home, finish whatever affairs I had to take care of here, and then go back and spend time with her. But before I left, I did not realize how serious my mother's condition was. And so what happens while I was there, it occurred to me that my whole dream, and this is where my story becomes vulnerable, because I will reveal to you that in this journey, the one thing we have to do to awaken the true divine presence of who we are. Thank you, UFO. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. In order to awaken the Christ within us, what we must do is not only the prayers and the meditations and the fasting and, basically raising our consciousness and being in the positive state all the time and in the frequency of love and all that stuff. Not only that, but also letting go of the ego. And what is the ego? Because we have been somehow programmed to believe that the ego is, he's got an ego. In other words, he's some nasty guy who's pissing everybody off, or he's just thinks he's, better than everybody else and all that stuff, right? So, but that's not it. That's not what the ego is. The ego is everything that is related to you as a human being that you identify with in this physical reality, because we exist simultaneously in spirit form and in physical form. The physical form is illusory because we identify with the ego. Why we identify with the ego? We identify with the ego because we were programmed to believe that we are somebody we're not. We're born, I know I've had some videos in the past where I mentioned that we came in without a memory, and that is actually not the truth. The truth is that when we come into this world as babies, we come in with full memory, and this is absolutely clear in some instances where you actually see children who have not been told no. Children who have been brought up in households where they haven't had a lot of interaction with programming from the outside world. People who are conscious, parents who are conscious, right? Who actually, if you ask those children certain questions. So basically the ego is everything we're not. But what are we really? We are the divine presence within us. We are the God within us. That's who we truly are. The ego is the illusion that we are, Carmen, who is a former real estate broker, a writer, a speaker, a storyteller, whatever it is that I want to put on myself. Whatever you put on yourself, as far as this is how I dress, this is, this is how my hair looks like, and this, I'm vegetarian, I'm this, I'm that. Anytime you attach yourself to a physical aspect of reality, to an aspect of the physical existence, that's when you identify with the ego. So my own ego believed that I was suddenly, and this has been happening to me in the past few years, I realized that I had some very powerful connections. First of all, with the Arcturian healers, because I had astral travel there. I even wrote a book about it. Yes, the ego. And so my journey for the past few years sort of led me to this idea that I am meant. You see, that's another aspect of the programming that we have been subjected to, as well as conditioning that we've been subjected to, that we have a purpose. So somehow my ego believed that because I have these skills that I can actually guide people towards the light, because I've had people who have had some tremendous experiences by when we worked together. And in my mind, I thought, I could impact the entire humanity. So that was my vision. I thought, this is going to be me. I'm going to be, writing my books and publishing them and, do book signings. And I'm going to be traveling the world, speaking on stages and, helping, literally just sharing my story, because I'm going to take the word helping back, because my concept of what I'm doing in my life is I'm not helping anybody. I'm not interested in helping anybody. Now, you may raise your eyebrow if you hear me say that, but let me explain. I decided to live in a reality in which every man, woman, and child love each other unconditionally, and we all live in peace, joy, harmony, and prosperity. And in this reality that I live in, everybody's perfect. Everybody is completely healed. There is absolutely no disconnection between humanity and the divine, the God within us. Yes, I know India keeps on coming up. You're absolutely right. Well, who knows? One of these days I will. Ego keeps you safe, but it's out of tune because of distorted belief. You bring it back into harmony within. Absolutely. Ego keeps us safe because the ego's job is only to protect us no matter what. So we're constantly tapping into this ego part of ourselves, right? So this ego of mine made me question the reality that I am in right now. I came back from Romania in the middle of June, 11th of June, September, 11th of September. And I really went into hermit mode. Like, I've been in hermit mode this whole time. Meditation, introspection, journaling, absolutely a very, very deep inner journey. Literally, there was nothing coming out of me. Everything was going inside and working it inside. So one day, maybe like a week and a half ago or so, I'm sitting on my patio and I was thinking to myself, because that's what I do. I ask myself questions and then I wait for the answers to come, right? Because the answers are all within. So I ask the question, I wait for the answer. So the question that I asked that day, because this vision of mine that my ego has, that I'm going to be this speaker and this, author, and I'm going to be just impacting humanity, right? Keeps on telling me that you realize that you go into Romania and you're going to be spending time with your mother, and you're not going to have time to do all this stuff. You're not going to be able to, because you're going to be busy with taking care of your mother. You see, now she's my only mother. I'm her only child. And the logical thing to do, not just logical, but the compassionate, the kind, the loving, the natural thing to do is to be there with her and help her and be by her side. Hi, Buna Gabriela, thanks for coming. Be by her side is necessary. Like, there's no two ways about it. Like, there's a no-brainer. Like, there's no way I could possibly say, no, I'm not going to go. I'm going to let her take care of herself. I'll just send her money and she's fine. No, this is the mission that I have right now. Even though my ego believed that I had another purpose, some kind of a purpose, just remembering, that's all. So my story is meant to stir something in you, something that would maybe say, you know what, if she can do it, so can I. Because I'm a normal person. In fact, I'm a person who has been a real estate, in business. I've been a business person all my life. I had nothing to do with spirituality. That was not my agenda. I was not interested in it. I had nothing to do with God, with Jesus, anything like that. And when I actually ended up astral traveling to Arcturus in 2021, I had absolutely no idea what Arcturus was. I had absolutely no idea what astral travel was. I was literally thrown in accidentally. Accidentally, because I was doing some meditations that turned out that they were actually ways for the consciousness to travel, like astral projection and all that stuff. I later understood that. I learned all that stuff. But at that time, I had no idea. So I thought, how could God possibly not encourage me and push me onto this path of being there and helping people rather than just helping my mother? Now, remember, this is my ego coming in. And so while I know clearly that what I have to do and I'm committed to doing it, there's absolutely no doubt about it, I still in my heart was feeling a grief. It was a grief. And I realized that my whole hermit mode for the past month or so has been based on grief. Grief for something that I'm losing, because in my mind I thought I'm losing this vision that I had about who I am becoming, about who I am to be in this world, what my purpose may be. Yes, I will post it on YouTube. Yes, I will. On TikTok, I don't know how to post the lives, but on YouTube I can, if without editing. On TikTok, I would have to just cut some pieces, but I can definitely do that. Yes, I'm definitely. My heart tells me that I'm ready to start sharing more and start opening up more, because there's been some massive transformations yet again. I mean, it's just like when you think this journey's over, it just goes into another gear. So I'm sitting on my patio having all these thoughts, and then finally I realize something. I need to ask myself a question, the most important question you can ask yourself whenever you want to manifest something in life, whenever you want to bring something into your reality where it's not there yet, right? But that's really what you desire, right? But if you continue to want it, if you continue to desire it, if you continue to imagine that it's not there yet, you're doing nothing but pushing it away. The only way you can resonate with the frequency that you are wanting to tap into, with the frequency that you are wanting to tap into, is if you surrender to what is. Because the universe is mental, as I mentioned earlier, which means every word, every thought, every emotion, every action creates a vibration that gets sent into the quantum field. I show that, but the quantum field is right here where we are. It's right inside of us. It gets sent into the quantum field, and then the quantum field makes arrangements so that everything can come into existence. But guess what? If you keep on digging that seed that you planted, will it ever grow? No. So this is what I was doing. I was resisting my new role, because this is what life is. Basically, we're playing a role. We're deciding who we are at every given moment. And at times, we just have to go with the flow, with whatever comes, because that is what's taking you to what's next, right? So that means we have to surrender to what is. Not unlike, some of the things that are said by Jesus, and even in some of the old Bibles, where it says that you must be without judgment of the reality that you are in right now. if you want to shift into another reality. And the other thing you want to do is to be surrounded by the reality, which means imagine that you are already there, which I have been doing, and that's something that I'm a manifester. Like, I've manifested some amazing things in my life. In fact, there's a new book that I'm working on right now. It's called Hacking Gratitude, that explains all that, and I know it's going to be impactful. But long story short, here I am resisting what God has in store for me, even though I know full well. See, the knowing and the embodying are two different things. It's not enough to know it. Knowing is conscious. Embodying it is subconscious. Okay? You cannot embody it at conscious level. You have to embody it at subconscious level. So you have to reprogram your subconscious mind to let go of the resistance. So at conscious level, I know that what God did for me so far. And by the way, when I speak of God, I don't speak of the God of the Bible. All of you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the divine presence within each and every one of us, the creation, the creator, the creation, and the created. It's all one. We're all one, right? So I said to myself, well, if God created all this for me so far, right, then why would I doubt God that what comes from this point on will be anything less than amazing? And yet I was still doubting, you see, because I wasn't embodying it yet. So the question that I came up with, and I tell you what, you guys, take this question to heart every single time you find yourself in a moment where you doubt your manifestation, wherever it is that you desire, whatever it is that you desire to bring into your existence. If you tap your foot going, why isn't it here yet? Why isn't it here yet? Set a deep meditation and ask yourself the question, what if this is all that is? Let me know if, Leonora, yes, release the expectations and become the resonant match to that desire. Absolutely. Surrender and trust. Surrender and know that that is the truth. Embodiment is beingness. Be the resonant. Absolutely. Let me know if any of you has ever had situations where you have wanted to manifest something in life and you found yourself in a spot where, yeah, I know it's there. I know it exists in a parallel reality, because we live in a quantum universe, right? What is a quantum universe? A quantum universe is a participatory universe, which means it requires our attention to bring it into existence. In other way, if I resonate at a certain frequency, I don't manifest what I want. I manifest what I vibrate. I manifest what I am, not what I want. So I could want something amazing, but if my frequency says, in other words, I could want this beautiful dream that I have to be in podcasts and speaking on stages all over the world. But if in my mind I sit there and go, oh yeah, but why now I'm having to go in and spend this much time in Romania, and who knows, now I'm gonna, there's a lot of work, a lot of stuff, a lot of 3D, a lot of physical reality, which, by the way, I'm welcoming, because it's nothing but initiation. Yes, my realm, absolutely. So whatever exists in the reality that you desire, all you have to do is to match it as a frequency. And don't doubt it, because the moment you doubt it, you push it away or you delay it, okay? So this is what I was doing. I was resisting, which means I was pushing it away. So I asked myself, what if this is all there is? And I sat in meditation for an hour. And at the end of this meditation, I simply came out of it and said, yeah, this is it. And I started to make a beautiful list of what I'm going to be doing in Romania, how I'm going to be renovating the house in the countryside, and how I'm going to be buying new doghouses heated for the dogs, and how I'm going to be maybe living at the countryside so I don't have to live with my mother, because it's not the easiest thing to do, to live with your aging parent. Now I'll be there 15 minutes away to bring her food and take her everywhere and take care of her and all that stuff, but I'd like to have my own, you know, space where I can just hermit wherever I want, because I'm a hermit. I love hermiting. So yes, so suddenly I just freed myself the moment I realized that yes, I could be loving and accepting and living in this existence without any kind of resistance. So yeah, everything just started to. We'll be in Bucharest soon. Oh, Virginia, you will be in Bucharest? I will be. I'm going back to Romania at the end of November, maybe beginning of December. So go within, sit with yourself, ask questions, listen, let go of resistance, stay open to possibility. Yes, Leonora, absolutely, yes. Are you from Bucharest, Virginia? So yeah, anyways, this is my story for today, guys. This is what I wanted to share with you today. Thank you, David. Good to see you. Hey. Thank you for the gifts, you guys. I appreciate it. Ask me any questions. Let me know if I can give you any insights, anything from my own story, from my own journey that maybe can help you. I want to share one of the little things with explain again why we as super beings have to come down and learn here repeatedly. Okay, we don't necessarily have to come here repeatedly. Okay, so we exist, we as divine presence, as the light, yeah? The light split into in an infinity of realities, not split. Basically, they all exist in parallel, right? In the quantum field. Not unlike. And when I say all of these realities exist in the quantum field, imagine a television set, right? Before you turn it on. Yes, absolutely. So if we channel source, we can still be the creator. Absolutely, UFO. No, this is very intense. I mean, this is how you become the creator. But there's a little fine tuning to it, because all creation is already done. All creation is already done. So imagine a television, right? A TV. So you have a TV and it's turned off, right? That's darkness. And then you turn it on. And you turn it on and you go to a certain channel. That means you tapped into the frequency of that channel. What happens to the other programs on those other channels? They're still there. They're still there. But until you click on a different button, in other words, you change the frequency, you're not going to bring them into your existence. So that exact same thing we're doing as light. So we are embodying this body. It's called emanation. So the light emanates into each human being. Okay? So we show up in here to express the light. Right? Because the light can't express itself in physical form other than through us. Why would the light want to express itself in physical form? Number one, because the light wants to, first of all, know itself. The source wants to know itself. And knowing yourself means you accept and love all parts of yourself, because they're all you. So in the reality that we come in, and our awareness, the awareness of the I am, is focused on this reality, because it's the awareness that makes you choose a specific reality from the infinity of the quantum field. So the light chooses this specific reality. And then when we're born, we have free will. The free will is to decide whether we do things from a place of love or things from a place of fear. As we grow into our life, right, as children, we're born, again, I said it before, we're born with full memory. We know exactly who we are when we're born. But because of all of the programming that comes into place from our parents, school, colleagues, teachers, priests, society, TV, all the stuff that we encounter on a daily basis, as children, specifically from the age of 0 to 7, when our brain is in theta state, the theta state is the state of hypnosis. That is, by the way, the state in which you can connect through your subconscious mind with the quantum field when you put yourself in a state of hypnosis. But it's also the state when you get programmed. When you can program yourself, by the way, you put yourself in a state of hypnosis, you create a little audio on your phone and you listen to it and reprogram yourself, or you listen to certain videos and audios and stuff like that. You can reprogram yourself. So as you have a spiritual awakening, for the question that was asked before, why do we come back again and again and again? We don't have to, because as we evolve as human beings and we go through things in life, we finally have a spiritual awakening. Usually a spiritual awakening happens and it's caused by a severe pain, something that we go through in our life, whether it's a divorce or a bankruptcy or someone's dying or a very, very serious health condition. So all of these painful situations in our life, oh, Anka, but I'm so sorry about all of this stuff. Well, that's the journey, my love. My heart goes with you, and I hope things get better. I know they will get better. Be sure to grieve. You have to go through all the grieving necessary. So as we evolve and we have this spiritual awakening, we start realizing that this reality that we live in is not real. In other words, I was born on a certain day. I was told. I was given a name by somebody else. I was told I'm a girl. I was told I'm supposed to act in a certain way. I was told this is how we're supposed to go to school. We're supposed to get married. We're supposed to have kids. We're supposed to have a job, work 9 to 5, 5 days a week. We're supposed to work till 60 years old and then retire. And we're supposed to be good people because otherwise we go to hell and all that stuff. So we have all of this programming going on, but that's not true. None of it is true. If you were to let a child live guided by their heart, by their truth, that child will never, ever, ever end up doing the things that we do as humans right now. Now, of course, they may end up meeting someone and having a loving relationship. That person may never, ever meet someone that they're going to break up with in 2 years or 3 years, because if they are healed, what is healing, right? Healing is letting go of all of these illusions, the fear that we have been brought up with, right? And all of these other negative emotions. So basically, this part of the journey, after you have your spiritual awakening and you realize that everything is an illusion, that your entire existence has been literally fake, now it's time for you. And that is the truth that will first disturb you. As Jesus said, the truth will set you free, but it will first disturb you. But then after you understand, after you pass the disturbance stage, you will master the world. That's what Jesus said. So basically, once you let go of everything that is not serving you, right? Fear, envy, jealousy, anger, judgment, all of the negative emotions that we have been dragging with us all our lives, self-doubt, not being enough, doubt, lack of confidence, everything that, I'm not good, money is not for me, I can never do that. All of these limitations that we grow up with, we let go of all of these things. And then we realize the truth. And then, of course, it's necessary for each and every one of us to commit to self, to commit to the inner journey, to the journey of knowing yourself, knowing who you truly are. Because all of these things that you've accumulated throughout your life are not you. You want to be like somebody. You watch social media and you know, I want to be like that person. You want celebrity. Oh, I gotta get that. I'm not good unless I have that. So all of this stuff is huge programming that literally holds you back from being our true selves. In fact, my awakening back in 2019 came with the question, who am I? I woke up one morning asking myself, who am I? And I realized that my entire life I have been someone that I thought someone else wanted me to be rather than someone I wanted to be. So basically, here I am my entire life altering myself in the hope that I would be loved by somebody, seeking someone's approval. Why? Because this is how I was programmed as a child. I was programmed to bend over backwards for approval, to be told, I love you. I was never told directly, you see, by my parents. So, and I'm sure most of you, if not many of you, have gone through the same thing in your life. But when you don't receive this love from your parents, you grow up, even though they love you, they take care of you, they put food in front of you, they take you to school, they pay money to buy you good clothes and roof over your head and all that stuff. There's other things, I'm not going to get into them right now. But the point that I'm trying to make here, if you grow up without receiving this warmth of approval, full on, no matter what you do, doesn't matter what, if you make mistakes, you're okay and I'm gonna love you. So as you let go of all of these things and you start read sacred scripture, and you start meditating, and you start fasting, and you start literally shifting your entire self, letting go of all your memory, letting go of all your personality, because it's your personality that is holding you into the matrix. What is your personality? That person that you think you are, the person that you think you are, your ego, that is your personality. Right? So it's when you let go of that, and by the way, that doesn't mean killing your ego. That doesn't mean killing your ego. On the contrary, you make peace with your ego. You tell him to take a step back and say, listen, I love you. I appreciate you. You've done an amazing job so far. Right now, while I'm in my inner journey, while I'm going through the valley of shadow and fear, no evil, I'm going to want you to take a step back. Because when I'm ready to step back into the physical reality, I'm going to need you to come in and work your magic. But I'm going to tell you how. In other words, who is this new character that I'm creating? And I'm going to need the ego to help me with this character, because the ego holds you into the matrix. But if you master your ego rather than letting it master you, it's when you are in this world and not of this world, as Jesus said. So you must not let ever your ego master you, right? So as you let go of all this stuff, you finally realize, and you go through deep meditations, and you hopefully you embrace the Kundalini rising, right? The opening of your chakras and the raising of your energy up the spine to your third eye, and open your third eye. And when you open your third eye, I'm sure many of you know, but if you don't, your third eye opens inward, not outward. Why does it open inward? Because that's where the light is. The light is within you, you see. We are a hologram. And the light, the source, is within you. As you open your third eye, it opens inward and it sees the light, right? When thy eye be single, thy body should be filled with light. Thank you, Mama Bear. When thy eye be single, thy body should be filled with light. Which eye be single? Your third eye. Your third eye. So when you realize that, and by the way, in the Bible, Jacob's ladder, right? Jacob goes up the ladder, the spinal column, right? Gets up, right, at the top, arrives at Mount Peniel, and then sees God face to face, and lived. His life was renewed. What does it mean his life was renewed? Renewed means he realized He was self-realized in that moment because he realized that he is an eternal being, because he realized that he is the light. In other words, the light is eternal. That means I am eternal. That means his life was renewed. So this is what happens. This is the journey that we're on right now. And by the way, I speak this with full confidence that being in the age of Aquarius, it's the age of disclosure. It's the age, and that's why when you, I mean, what is going on right now on TikTok, not on Facebook so much, not on Instagram so much, but definitely on TikTok. I mean, people on TikTok are fucking awake. And as you see them show up, healing themselves, doing their shadow work, meditating, sharing their stories, it's clearly showing you that we are in the age of Aquarius, which is the age of disclosure, which is the age where every single one of us, the age of illumination, that's right. It's because that's when the flashlight is being put on everything, and that's why so much stuff is going on. I'm not even going into what's going on at the level of 3D world, which is politics and all this bullshit that I'm not interested in. But the point that I'm trying to make is you become self-realized. And in that moment, you know who you are. Not just, again, as we spoke earlier, not just consciously, not just intellectually, but experientially. There's a whole different way that you see the world when you know who you are. And to go back to the question about becoming the creator, as I said earlier, all creation is done. There's absolutely nothing that is being created, you guys. This is something that must be understood across the board. All creation is done. I don't create anything. You don't create anything. All we do is to shift into the reality that we desire. This sofa that I'm sitting on right now was not created. Whenever the sofa was built, somebody thought about it. That thought basically was a frequency that matched the frequency in the quantum field, and in the quantum field they tapped into the reality where the sofa already existed. Everything exists already, right? So then every single step afterwards was simply stepping into a next reality, the next reality. Now you have the leather, now you have the stitches, now you have this, now you have that. It's just stepping into a reality. So basically we don't create anything. All we're doing is we're authoring. Like, in other words, we're choosing like from a shopping cart. You see, this is me right here. This is what I want right here. So, but here's the thing: as a co-creator, let's go ahead and use this term. As a co-creator, in other words, once you awaken to the truth of who you are, truly who you are, the divine being that you are, the creation, the omnipresence, the omnipotence, the omniscience, the everything, the all. That's who you are. You're not the wave, you are the ocean, right? You're not the drop, you are the ocean. As you realize that, you also realize that there's another very important aspect of bringing things into existence. It is your Father's great pleasure to give you the kingdom. What does it mean that it is your Father's great pleasure to give you the kingdom? Means you have access to everything because you are the Father. I and my Father are one. So the kingdom is yours. In other words, you have access to everything. So every single time you think you want to manifest something, you want something, I want to, like me, right? My ego, I want to be this speaker, I want to be this writer, I want to do this, I want to do that. The question that I have for myself at times is like, why are you trying to limit yourself? I mean, it's okay to have some fun things that you manifest on a daily basis. That's amazing. Like just, I want to do that. All right, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. And it happens. Thank you so much for the roses. I appreciate UFO. Yes. So as you realize that, every day you can manifest whatever you want. But as a big picture, like let's say you are visualizing something massive for yourself, right? Something huge. You want to be somebody huge because you can be anything you want. You can be absolutely anything you want. This is the part that you have to understand. There's absolutely no limitation to who you can become. Because here's why. You already exist in an infinity of versions of yourself. Just like the sofa exists in a concept state first, and then the leather, and then the stitches, and then all that stuff, step by step by step. All of these realities exist. You exist in every reality possible. I highly recommend that you watch the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once, because it will explain very clear this concept of we exist. It's a multiverse, right? So we exist in all of these realities. Or in Doctor Strange too, that's a really good one as well. But the Everything Everywhere All at Once really cleared it up for me. So since I exist in every possible reality that I imagine, and I can't imagine, because I can't possibly imagine everything, because I have limited spectrum to my understanding, because I've only done so many things in life. Every single day I learn something new. So you can imagine how much more is out there. I know nothing, right? I am the Mad Hatter. Yes. I love the Mad Hatter. I actually love Alice in Wonderland. It's one of my most favorite movies in the world. And I never read the book, but the movies, I watched every one of them. So anyways, okay, so since you exist in an infinity of realities, one of them is that reality so I exist in an infinity of realities. One of them is the one where I am, speaking all over the world on stages and all this stuff, right? But if I am attached to it, in other words, if it doesn't happen, it's going to hurt my feelings, right? If I feel this way, if I constantly dig up that seed, right, I'm never going to get into it. One. Secondly, here's the question. If I am the creator of my reality, the co-creator of my reality, right, then why would I not allow myself to walk into it or to slide into the highest possible reality, which maybe I'm not aware of? I might want to just speak on stages all over the world, but the universe, the source, the creation without me may have something else even bigger, even more beautiful for me. And while I'm resisting this one thing, I'm being stopped from actually meeting my highest self. So that's why I want to caution you, whenever you're thinking big, little things, go ahead and manifest them all day long. I'm going to teach you in my book, Hacking Gratitude, exactly how to do it. It's just so freaking amazing. But the big things, don't get stuck to them, because actually what is in store for you could be a lot better than what you can imagine. Does it make sense? So instead of thinking, oh yeah, that's right, UFO, absolutely. Interstellar, Lucy, yeah, there's quite a few, and Doctor Strange too, yeah. So basically all I'm saying, instead of visualizing something specific for your big target of your life, start imagining how would you feel, because that's a material thing. Like, don't think material, don't think physical reality, think emotion, because the difference, what ties, what connects the physical reality with spirit, with God, is the emotion. So instead of imagining a material manifestation into our life, imagine emotions manifested into our life. So in other words, you can still have that vision of you doing the things that you do, right? What would that bring you? Would that bring you joy? Would that bring you laughter? Would that bring you, fun? What would it bring you? Would it bring you kindness? Would it bring you generosity? What would it bring you? So focus on those emotions and visualize them instead of visualizing the big picture. Did I answer the question, UFO? Attachment leads to suffering. Absolutely. It's the only thing. Yeah, let go of attachment and you let go of suffering. That's it. And this is where I was in this month. For almost a month I was in this grieving period where I was attached to an outcome that I finally learned to let go of. Oh, good. Thank you. I'm glad you told me. All right. Let me know if you have any other questions. Something greater or better. Exactly. Yes. I'm just happy that I have encountered you here. Thank you so much for the work you do. Thank you, Oskins. I appreciate it. Has to be here. Yes, I'm supposed to sleep, but my soul is here. Oh, I will post it, UFO, no problem. Those are hard lessons. Yes, those are very hard lessons. They're very painful, but oh, I learned to accept even the pain, and I learned to allow myself to cry and to just let it all out. Ugly cry, you know, those where you just sit there and go, whoa. It feels so good to just let it go. Oh, you made a conversation with ChatGPT from my 15 statements. Thank you, Surexi. That's awesome. Yes, I'm working on my third book right now, Esa Vera. It's called Hacking Gratitude. I've been working on it for 5 years because there, you know, I don't know if you ever watched that movie, The Big Lebowski. Every time I think of this book, I think of that movie because in that movie, there's that scene where the Big Lebowski, oops, no, it makes me put a puzzle here. Okay, got it. All right. I have to make puzzles because I'm not moving. So in the Big Lebowski, I don't know if you remember, those guys came in and stole the guy's rug, right? And the Lebowski, the dude, says, you know, that rug, it was just tying the room together, you know, like that was the missing piece. Well, guess what? My situation with this book, I've been writing it since 2019. And I finished it. I finished it a couple of years ago. And I just knew it wasn't finished. It wasn't finished. It wasn't finished. And then, because I knew I needed the rug. I needed the rug that would tie the whole thing together. And in Romania, I got it. When I was in Romania, I got it. It was amazing. It was amazing, amazing, amazing. Anyways, it will all be written in the book. But if you want to read one of my books where you're going to learn a lot of the things that I speak of right now, you can read my book, Arcturian Healing, which is the book I published last November. You can find that on Amazon. And in there, actually, if you are on your healing journey, especially shadow work, you will learn in there exactly how to do shadow work yourself, and heal yourself with a technique that was taught to me by the Arcturian healers. Okay, so let's see what other question. Romania. Sorry, what did you say? I'm interested about Romania. Oh, I am Romanian, and I was in Romania for 3 months from June to September, and I'm going to return to look after my mother at the end of November. So that's the little story there. My other question is, how do we embody and acknowledge the state of Creator itself? Well, before we actually know it experientially, in other words, when we have our third eye open, right, and we actually see the light within ourselves, all we have to do is to vibrate at the frequency of love. So every single time we are faced with a choice, every single time we're faced with a choice, and by the way, I want you to make an exercise and look at all the main choices you made in your life. I mean, even in the little choices, you can see this, but maybe you don't remember your little choices, but let's say there's some big choices that you made in your life. Ask yourself always, is whatever decision you decide to go with, whatever path, because there's many choices, right? Sometimes more than one. Ask yourself the question, is this coming from a place of love or is this coming from a place of fear? So in other words, whenever you decide to take a step in a certain direction, always choose love. Whenever you do something, if you do it, well, I'm doing it because, I just don't want somebody to get upset. Well, that's fear. Let's say somebody invites you to an event and you just don't feel like going, but at the same time, maybe you work with them, maybe they're clients, maybe something, whatever. You kind of feel like if I don't go, they're going to get upset and I'm going to lose business or whatever that may be, right? Well, that's fear. But if you don't feel like going, you have to honor yourself. And honoring yourself means coming from a place of love, which means I politely decline. And that's it. And that's what you do. With everything, honor yourself. Self-love, really, self-love is embodying the frequency of God. What did Jesus say? He gave us 2 commands. That's it. That's all Jesus said. Love thy Father with all thy heart, thy mind, thy soul. And love your neighbor like you love yourself. Both of these 2 statements are really one and the same thing. Love yourself. Once you love yourself unconditionally, because see, we are brought up in this world to believe that we need somebody to love us. I mean, look at all the songs. A few years, and this is what it occurred to me a few years ago. I want to say it would have been maybe after my awakening in 2019 that I remember I was cleaning my house, I don't know, I was just sweeping my floor, something like that, and I was listening to some music, and it was Frank Sinatra, and he's singing this song, I'm nobody till somebody loves me. And of course I'm fredonating there with him, and I'm like, wait, what? What do you mean I'm nobody till somebody loves me? And I'm like, no way, Jose. So no, we're going to change the song. But this is what we've been programmed to believe, that we need somebody to love us. And that's not true. That's not true, because we're already loved. We're already loved because we are love. We are love. But in the physical form, we still have to get this love. How do we get it? We give it to ourselves. So loving ourselves unconditionally is the first step. Mama Bear, my mom is doing okay. She's fine. She's losing her mind. So it's not an easy thing, but she manages. Like she's still good, but I have to be there for her. So there's no 2 ways about it. Thank you so much for asking. I appreciate it. Irina Rimes song. Do you know her? I know her. Yes, I love her music. Absolutely love her music, Irina. Yes, I absolutely love her. Love the earrings. Thank you. These are Colombians. Shamanic earrings. I think of myself as a little bit of a shaman. How do we truly love ourselves? We honor ourselves. Well, first of all, we have to close all the open tabs, which means, see, what happens is our entire life, we accumulate traumas. And the word trauma is, some people may say, I never had any traumas. Okay, well, you think you didn't, because you think of trauma as something that has to be visible, like maybe some impact, some wound, something horrible, right? But it's not that. A trauma can simply be that you went to show your parents what you did in school today, and your parents pushed you away because they didn't have time for you, and maybe they do that repeatedly. Guess what? You're gonna wake up. You're gonna grow up with abandonment trauma. You see. So you're going to believe that every single person you meet will abandon you eventually. And that's why we enter into relationships with partners who eventually abandon us. Because our subconscious is dragging us into that direction. Why? Because the subconscious is trying to save us, to protect us. And what's our subconscious thinking is that we're going to try to meet another person just like our parents, because maybe this time we're going to be able to convince them to love us. Maybe this time, maybe this time, maybe this time, maybe this time. When we realize our patterns of behavior in life and how we behave towards others and how we give of ourselves, how we let others treat us, that's the moment of awakening and realization that, wait a minute, I haven't been honoring myself. When I realized that I wasn't honoring myself, that I wasn't loving myself, I actually one day I sat in meditation and I recalled all the moments in my life, maybe not all, but many that I could think of. And I said that, and I said, so I did kind of like it was a long story. It was a long story going on in my head. If I truly loved myself, I wouldn't have done that. And I forgive myself for that. If I truly love myself, I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have exposed myself to that. And I forgive myself. So basically, you heal all of these wounds by forgiving yourself. In my book, Arcturian Healing, I talk about it. The healing process itself requires the encounter between the your higher consciousness and the person who might have, did something that bothered you. But then it turns into your inner child healing, because it's inner child work. Self-love is inner child work. Everybody suffers from abandonment trauma, the German eagle. There are three main wounds. They're called universal wounds. Three of them: abandonment, betrayal, and shame. And every single person in this world has a minimum of two, if not all three. In fact, I don't believe I met anybody who doesn't have all three. That's how traumatized we are by our parents and by our society. And by the way, I don't blame the parents. I don't fault the parents. I've already passed that stage of my journey where I would blame anybody for anything. Because here's what happens. Our parents did what they knew best. They did their best with what they had. And if they didn't give me the love that I wanted, it's because they didn't have it, because they never got it from their parents. How can I expect them to give me apples when all they have is pears? So that's basically what it is. You don't have to forgive them for anything. You don't have to forgive anybody for what they did to you. Because you can't be hurt, because you're an absolutely divine, perfectly in every way being. Nobody can hurt you. You can't be hurt. So to forgive them, it would be a misnomer. All you have to do is to thank them, because really what they're doing, they're showing you what parts of yourself you don't love yet. And those are the ones to work on. So you look at your patterns of behavior. You analyze where are the situations in your life where you might have been developing some belief of limitation, of fear, of anger, of jealousy, of envy, of judgment, of criticism, of anything you can possibly imagine that is not of love. If it's not love, it's not real. If it's not love, it's not real. So as you let go of all of these things, slowly you start developing your self-love. Can I lend? Yes, absolutely. You can send me any message you want. I always answer to everybody who's asking me questions, and I'll be more than happy to help. So yeah, absolutely. How to open our third eye? Well, there's several things that you have to do to open your third eye. One of the things you want to do is to alter your diet in a certain way, like stop drinking tap water and using fluoride toothpaste and all that stuff. That's what they say. I believe it could be possible or not. Quite honestly, I think we're so divine that absolutely nothing can affect us. There's absolutely nothing can affect us unless we believe it can affect us. So anyways, but I'm giving you kind of the things that I did because I believed them at the time, you see. So I did all these things. I watched for all these things. Intense meditation, very, very deep meditation. You want to meditate a minimum of twice a day for at least 20 minutes each. Now, you don't have to start with 2 times a day, 20 minutes each. Start with 10 minutes. Add another 5. Make it to 20. And then a week later, make it 2 times a day. Because as you do it, you will see a massive difference in your, not only in the way you feel, but in the way the external world starts responding to what you're doing. So meditation, reading scripture. When I say scripture, I don't necessarily mean the Bible or anything like that. I mean, I'm talking about books like the Bhagavad Gita, like the Vedantas, like the a really, really good book to read is A Course in Miracles. They're heavy books. There's also a lot of videos, audios on YouTube that you can listen to. I actually have on my YouTube channel, I have a playlist. You can look at my playlist, and one of them it's called I believe it's called Feed Your Mind. And I have some amazing videos saved on there. If you guys ever end up on there, you gotta listen to all this stuff. Because why? Because see, our subconscious mind is what runs the show. Consciousness is only 5% of our mind, 5 to 10%, whatever. Everybody says different things, but let's go with 5% is of our, consciously we act only 5%, subconsciously 95%. So the subconscious mind is literally in control. We think we're in control, but we're not. The subconscious is. What is the subconscious? An accumulation of all our beliefs, of our limitations, of everything that we've accumulated our entire life, so we believe who we are, right? So this subconscious mind basically controls our world. But if we keep on reprogramming the subconscious mind, then slowly, all of these negative beliefs and all of these limitations go away. Hey, Bertha, good to see you. So nice to see you. Yes, I finally did a live. So, that's basically, as you let all of this stuff go and you fast, you start adding different things that basically raise your frequency, right? You start fasting, you take moments, especially if you want to open your third eye, in other words, your kundalini, right? Rise your kundalini. What you want to do is to go on a website called moontracks.com, and on there you're going to find when is the moon in your birth sign. And you're going to find that every 29 and a half days, the moon is in your sign for about 2.5 days, almost 3 days. And during that period of time, every month, every 29 and a half days, try to fast. If you can water fast, is amazing. Right now, I've been fasting for 2 weeks right now, water and tea only. So I'm yet again at a moment of shedding, and more shedding, but it just feels so good. And this is probably my 5th fast so far in my life. And I can tell you that it has been the easiest one. I don't even pay attention. I don't even think food anymore. You know, my fridge is empty. I put everything that could have been eaten in the freezer, and it just doesn't matter anymore. Vintage and Nut. I practice Transcendental Meditation, and I highly recommend it, which is a mantra meditation. However, if you don't want to go for the expense, because to practice Transcendental Meditation, you're going to have to join this organization and all that stuff. They teach you how to do it, and you know, it will be an expense. I don't remember how much it is. I don't know how much it is right now. Back in the day was when I first started about 10 years ago, it was about, I'd say $900 or something. It's a one-time fee, but they spend time with you and they teach you. It's a serious organization. It's basically the Maharishi Mahesh Yogi's organization. He's the one who introduced Transcendental Meditation to the West. There's actually a university in Iowa. There's the Maharishi University that is all based on this practice of meditation. The other thing you could do, and this is something that I did, and daily meditation is absolutely necessary. Stillness is absolutely necessary, because in stillness is when we connect with the body, and the body is our vehicle or our instrument to interpret the spirit. When spirit communicates with us, communicates through the body. So the body tells us exactly all we need to know. So as you go through this process and you decide to raise your consciousness, to open your third eye, I want to caution you, do not open your third eye until you have healed, until you have opened your chakras. What does it mean to open your chakras? Is to heal all of these wounds that we talked about before, because each chakra is connected to a wound. If you go to my videos, to the one where I talk about the 7 sins and the 7 chakras, it tells you exactly how to heal your chakras. So as you have healed your chakras, now the energy can climb up the spine unencumbered, because if you don't open your chakras, you could be in very, very profound physical pain if you open your third eye. But the worst that could happen is you can enter into a psychosis after that can last you a good 2-3 months or more, who knows. I mean, I know there's people who have gone into schizophrenic states and stuff, because you can't interpret it, you can't integrate it if your chakras are not opened, healed, cleaned up. And once you do that, then you literally walk on water. By the way, walking on water is symbolic for walking on your emotions, because water is emotion, right? So you finally overcame all your emotions. You're walking on water. Magnificent morning to you. Yes, to you too. Malaysia, cool. How do you know you healed? Well, you know you're healed when you don't get triggered anymore, because you go out and meet people, or you talk on the phone, and if you don't get triggered, you're healed. No, doesn't mean that you have to sit there and heal absolutely everything. There may be still little things that pop up eventually, but now you know how to heal them. Yes, Mama Bear, there is a wonderful, wonderful book that I read, and I actually worked it with journaling 7 days straight. I did not stop working on this book. It's called Chakra Healing with Shadow Work. So I had my journal with me, and it was so cool, because right now I kind of removed a lot of my stuff from my house, but I had crystals and I had essential oils and I had everything. So I would use crystals and essential oils, and the prompts, the shadow work prompts, they were given to me so I can journal on them, so I can heal them, whatever was still needed. I highly recommend that book. Thank you, Mayor. I've been working on a book on shadow work. Are you writing a book on shadow work? If we shouldn't react to our current unwanted reality, doesn't that mean suppressing our emotions? Not at all. If you have emotions, let them out. Do not ever suppress your emotions. Do not ever suppress your emotions. But what kind of emotions, Esa Vera? What kind of emotions do you have? Do you have the emotion that I'm resisting the fact, I hate the reality that I'm in? I hate all this stuff? You see? Because if you hate it, you have to have a reason why you hate it. Why do you hate it? Because, I don't have enough money. Well, how do I get enough? How do I get enough money? How do I start manifesting more money in my life? What do I have to do? How do I have to shift the way I think and the way my relationship with money is in order to bring money in my reality? Never be in judgment with your reality, the reality you're in, and expect to move into another reality. Because judgment basically is a hook. I like to call them all of these things of the ego are hooks. I envision the matrix that we're all trying to, all the world, as Jesus said, be in it but not of it. Being in it and not of it means go through it like a duck on water and not get wet, right? But being of it is, I'm participating in it, I'm resenting it, that gets me mad, and that. You have a reaction to everything. Right? This is being in it, because the world is oppressing you. But if you say, you know what? Whatever happens right now in this very moment is what it is. And if something is not the way I want it, how do I interpret it to make it sound, to make it look like it's for my own good instead? It's not something very easy to do, but it's something that if you continue to do and you practice, you develop the muscle, and you stop ruminating into the old negative parts of yourself, and you start shifting into the higher consciousness. And I hope I answered the question. Thank you so much, Mayor. Thank you. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. I hate all this stuff. Well, okay, Isavera, you have to find a way to let go of this hate, because this hate keeps you stuck in the matrix. Find things that you love, find things that you're grateful for, and a very, very, very good exercise to do. Very good exercise. Probably the best exercise you can possibly do in your life. I've done this exercise a minimum of 10 times in my life so far, and I only started it at the end of 2018. It's called 90 Days of Gratitude. You take a journal, and for 90 days in a row, you write 10 reasons you're grateful for. 10 reasons you're grateful for. Anything. It can be anything. It can be the chair you sit on, the internet, the electricity, the running water. Every day, 10 different things. You write them down. Now, I'm going to tell you something. If at the end of the 90 days, you're going to see a massive shift in your life. In fact, if you want to have a specific vision attached to it, like something that you want to bring into your life, maybe a new job, a new car, a new relationship, whatever that may be, here's the trick. And this is where hacking gratitude means, because the gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership. When you are in a state of gratitude, that frequency, basically, what does it mean? What does gratitude mean? I already have it. I'm so grateful I have it. Think of how do you feel when you're grateful for something? You're just like, right? So that's it. That's your state of gratitude. That you become gratitude eventually. Eventually you become gratitude. So being in a state of gratitude, it means you already got it. You already got it. So I'm going to teach you how to hack it. So if you do this practice of 90 days of gratitude, write your 10 items. Write first 9 items first. And as you write them, don't just write them like, no, I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful. And by the way, always write, I'm grateful for, I am grateful for, I am grateful for. Don't just write for bullet points, or just don't think about it. You gotta write them. You gotta write them. Because if you write them from the subconscious, not from the conscious. Because what happens is when you write, your conscious mind gets set aside because it's too busy with you concentrating on you writing between the lines and the letters and all that stuff, right? And then while the conscious mind is out of the way, the subconscious spills the beans. Not unlike a child who spills the beans in the house when a stranger comes in and the parents are not in the house, and the child tells everything from the house, right? Exactly the same way in the conscious, the relationship with the conscious and subconscious. That's why writing, you can't do shadow work without writing, you guys. You cannot. I want you to tell me you understand what I'm saying. You cannot give me a heart if you understand what I'm saying. You cannot do shadow work without journaling. So the last thing, so you write your first 9 items that are absolutely bringing you into a state of gratitude. And the last item that you write, thank you for the hearts. Yes, okay, appreciate it. Thank you guys. Yes, appreciate it. Okay, good. So writing down, right? So the last thing you write down is that one vision that you have, that one thing that you want to bring into your life, and say, I am grateful for my new amazing job that does this for me, or whatever you want to write. You can even write a little essay in there if you want, and write it every day that way. And for 90 days you do that, and I promise you it will happen. Now, here's what I'm saying. You can't be grateful for something in your writing and then later on go, yeah, but I don't know how it's possibly going to happen because I really don't know, because right now it's this and right now it's that, and I just don't know because I don't really have because I don't know anybody. Like if you ruminate and why it could not happen, it's not going to happen. It's not, because that basically means that you visualize something and you want to bring something beautiful in your life, which is that new reality that you want to step into, slide into, right? But at the same time, you're so you're with one foot in your old reality and with one foot in your new reality. You're going to remain in the old one. I will amplify. Thank you, Esavera. Please do. It will help you tremendously. You have to trust. You really have to trust. You have to trust that the universe has your back. because the universe has you. You are your universe. But if you don't know it yet, I know you can't feel it yet. I know it. I know it. I know it. I was there. I know. I was there. I was there. But it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It happened already. It already happened in the quantum field. That reality you desire is already in the quantum field. All you have to do is to tune to it. In other words, change your frequency to that frequency. And you're gonna bring them together. You're gonna collapse them. What does it mean to change your frequency to that frequency? Is to act as if it has already happened. In other words, be in gratitude of it already happened. The matrix equals systems of oppression. The matrix is basically the system that we live in. It's a system. I mean, go to work, go to school, pay taxes, retire, go to medical, politics. I mean, look at everything that is going on in the world. This is the matrix. And what is it feeding on? It's feeding on our fear, on our doubt, on our belief that we need somebody to govern us. We need somebody to protect us. We need somebody to love us. We need to prove ourselves. We need to bend over backwards to make people happy. That's basically what we are born into. That's what we are letting go. And see, here's what happens. The matrix, as we know it, with this system that we were born in, does not exist in the reality that we are desiring to shift into. The reality that I mentioned in the beginning, where the way I see the world is where every man, woman, and child love each other unconditionally, and we all live in peace, joy, harmony, and prosperity. That's what I see, and that's why I say I don't help anybody, because in my mind everybody's perfect. I see perfection in you. I see divinity in every single one of you. You can't convince me otherwise. I don't care what you do. Now, you as a human, you may do some stupid shit that I may say, holy smokes, she doesn't know who she is, or he doesn't know who he is, and that's why they do that. But I'm telling you, that's who you are. You are a divine being, and you have every power you can possibly imagine. This truth has been taken away from us and locked the keys. That's what even Jesus tells us. Why? Because if humanity knows that we have the power, they flip the table on this society, on the matrix. You see? They don't want us knowing this. Why would they want us knowing this? We would be free. It's freedom. It's not bliss we're looking for. It's not happiness we're looking for. We're looking for freedom. Freedom to be and do anything we want, whatever we want, be whoever I want to be, without having to justify myself to anybody, without having to explain, without having to worry, without having to fear, right? Just be yourself, be authentic. I have had a few awakenings. Truth come over decades and then was lost again in the program. Yes, it's okay, drive-in tunes, because you can never. I don't read astrology. In fact, to be honest with you, I'm kind of detached from everything that is not simple divine presence, because even astrology, I mean, it's powerful, it's impactful. I mean, the age of just the understanding of the age of Aquarius is massive. But here's the thing about astrology. It tells you certain things. People have the tendency of looking at astrology as something set in stone, but it's not. It's just guidance. It's something that you can go, oh, how do I transmute? How do I manipulate this information in my favor? You see, you don't want to get stuck in whatever is being said to you by the other person, because you have to also realize even an astrologer reads from their field, from their perspective. So their field connects with yours. Although we are on one and the same field, but your own healing, right? Your own healing comes from within you. Now, by the same token, I'm here to tell you that the way this universe is created is that our higher consciousness, the divine presence within each and every one of us, is constantly sending us messages and showing us the way. We just have to pay attention to it. And the way it's showing us the way is in the language of the time. And what is the language of the time? This is what we're doing. Social media, the internet, YouTube, da 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 da. So while you may get a message in a song or a feather or 1111 you find on your microwave or whatever it is that you take as signs from the universe, please know that even on your social media account, you may receive guidance from certain people who come in and spoke certain things, and you will know it if you hear it and your body resonates with it. And you would know, oh, this is for me. This is my higher consciousness giving me a message. This is what I need to do right now. Like somebody said, I need to go to India. This is like the 5th person in the past month who told me I need to go to India. Clearly, I have to go to India, right? But that's what I'm saying. I mean, we have our inner compass. We are guiding ourselves, in fact, without realizing it. Thank you, Monax. What is the topic? The topic is healing your inner child, self-love, overcoming the urges of the ego, raising your consciousness to the one of Christ, opening your third eye. If you have any questions, Debbie, hit me with it. Thank you, guys. I asked for a sign for surrendering and you popped up. There you go. I hope you heard the whole thing from the beginning, Tina. Did you? Like, I literally shared my story of surrendering from about a week ago when I was just stuck to a vision that I had, and I was just resisting the fact that it's not happening because I'm having now to do something else in my life. And so, I will post, in case you haven't seen it, I will post this video on YouTube if you want to watch it, because it might be powerful. And if you haven't watched it, and until I post it, I'll just give you quickly the question to ask yourself whenever you find yourself in a spot of surrendering, of knowing that you must surrender. You have to let go, because if you don't let go, nothing will happen. You have to sit down and ask yourself in a state of meditation, what if this is all there is? What if this is all there is? Can I live with it? Can I be happy? Can I be joyous? Can I enjoy? Can I play the role of the role that was handed to me right now at its fullest capacity? That is the secret, you guys. No matter what role we play right now, we must play it fully. If we don't play it fully, we can never shift into another reality, because the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. And if you are wishy-washy here in the role that you're playing, you're never going to shift into another one, because why would you shift into another one just to be wishy-washy into another role? You see, I was letting me driving force of programming and of melancholy, I believe. Yes, well, that happens. And by the way, it's okay to sit in melancholy. It's okay to grieve. It's okay. You have to let go of all the emotions. Let them all out. Let them all out. Don't shove them under the mat, because if you shove them under the mat, they will never go away. Never, ever. And you will never be able to raise your consciousness to the Christ consciousness if you are still holding on to things from the past. If living with negative mindset parent, well, if you have the possibility to move. But if you don't have the possibility to move, then you have to create a game in your mind. You have to, you don't engage with their negativity. You really don't engage with negativity. And then you also do something different. Like, you can create a little vision for yourself every time you go to bed at night. You go to bed at night and you wake up in the morning, right before you fall asleep and right after you wake up. You imagine your parents exactly the way you want them to treat you. You create a little movie, a little scene in your mind, and you imagine that scene. And you say, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you, I appreciate you. Thank you, I love you, I appreciate you. And then slowly, if you do that consistently, If you do it for 21 days, you will see a massive change in your parents. In fact, let me tell you something. I just got a message from a friend of mine who we talked, and I helped him with a couple of things. I helped him. I basically turn on the flashlight on a couple of things for him, and then he sent me a message, and he said, I used your technique with my parents, and he said, for the first time in my life, instead of trying to seek approval from my father, I simply stayed there and did my thing with grace, with peace, with calm. They went together to an event, and then after I got home, for the first time in my life of 40-some years old, my father called me to tell me something that could help me in something I wanted to do. It was the first time in his life, only because he changed the way he looked at his parents. There's a very, 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 very powerful statement that says, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, because you are the one who creates the reality that you're in. So if you believe that your parents are negative, you will remain in the reality where your parents are negative. But because we live in a quantum universe where everybody exists in an infinity of realities, my parents exist in a reality in which they're actually nice and kind and friendly and positive. So if I continue to tap into the frequency where my parents are negative, I will remain in the frequency where my parents are negative. But if I shift, if I start thanking them and be grateful for them, you don't have to tell them that. Don't tell them that, right? Just do it secretly in your mind, morning and evening. And you can even do it in a meditation during the day if you want to, but sufficient twice a day for 21 days. If you change the way you look at your parents, they change. They become a different reality, and you become a different reality as well. So you all shift into a different reality from the quantum field. Makes sense? I hope I answered your question. What if they pass? Does this still work? Okay, if they passed, you have to do a healing process within yourself. And my book, let me bring my book so I can show it to you. Okay, there we go. This is my book, Arcturian Healing. Okay, so in this book is about my astral travel to Arcturus, where I met the Arcturian healers, and they taught me. It's a not very long story, but it's a long story. There's a lot of wonderful things that happened. It lasted about 8 months or so, this whole traveling thing. So in the end, I met the Arcturians, and they taught me Arcturian healing. So what you have to, in this book, I describe exactly what it means. So whenever you have some unresolved emotions, unresolved traumas, unresolved situations with anybody, even if they're passed away, you go into the quantum field, into the higher consciousness, and you have an encounter between your higher consciousness and their higher consciousness, which, by the way, are one, right? Because we're all one. And you do a short interaction between the two, and then you let them go. And then what you do is you turn towards your inner child, and you do Ho'oponopono and your inner child. Ho'oponopono is those 4 phrases that say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. Please don't take these statements lightly. They have been the foundation of my inner child healing, and they have healed, millions and millions of people because they're very powerful. So what happens is this: every interaction we've ever had that left within ourselves some kind of emotional charge. The Arcturians taught me that they are exactly the way tabs on the computer. You know when you have your tabs open on your computer? I don't know if you call them tabs or windows. You work on your computer and you open a tab and you leave it open and you open another one and you leave it open, and suddenly you have like 50 open tabs, and then you wonder what happened to your computer. It's slowed down, right? Sometimes it freezes, the little beach ball shows up and all that. Well, this is how we are. All of these emotions, unregulated emotions, act as those open tabs on the computer, and they're slowing us down. Not only they're slowing us down, but they are stopping us from seeing who we truly are, from seeing, not knowing, because we know we're God, but we have to see it, we have to feel it, we have to embody it, right? We can't do that if we still have these open tabs on the computer. And this healing helps you close those tabs, each and every one of them. And even if somebody you've had interactions with that left unresolved emotions within yourselves, if they're dead, you can still bring them up because they're really not dead. They're still right here with us. I hope I answered your question. And the book, you can get it on Amazon if you want. You're going to enjoy it. Unexpected, thank you. Yes, you explained it. So thank you. Oh, and I wanted to tell you one other thing. Some people say, forgiveness. Forgiveness is the most important thing on this journey. But don't misinterpret forgiveness. You don't forgive others. You don't ever forgive others because they didn't come to hurt you, although it may seem like they did, right? But if you maintain yourself in a state of victimhood, which is the lower consciousness level, there's 4 levels of consciousness. Life happens to me. This is me as a victim. Like everybody's doing something against me, all that stuff, right? When I realize that actually they're not doing it to me, they're showing what parts of myself I don't love yet. Oh, wow. So that means they're not hurting me. They're helping me. So instead of thinking that I have to forgive them, I'm grateful to them that they came into my life, even though at that time I misunderstood. Because as a child, I misunderstood that my mother abandoned me. I misunderstood that my father betrayed me. You see, all of these things are misunderstandings because I can't get hurt. I, as a divine, pure soul, being, source, whatever you want to call, light, I can't get hurt. None of us can get hurt by nobody. We can't even hurt ourselves. We only get hurt because we believe we can hurt. It's the belief that we can hurt that hurts us. So we don't forgive them. We forgive ourselves for misunderstanding. So who do we ask forgiveness to? To our inner child, because it is our inner child that we're constantly carrying with us. And we drag this poor little soul, adorable little divine being. We drag him through all the messes of our lives without realizing that, oh my God, we are powerful. We can do anything we want. We can express ourselves in any way we want. We can let my inner child, I can let my inner child's heart sing. I can be as crazy as I want, as wild as I want without caring about anybody and anything. I don't have to explain myself to anybody. I can literally live my life the way I want it without having to worry about anything. And it's that inner child that I have to ask for forgiveness from. And they will forgive you. Oh, they can't wait. They can't wait to forgive you. So, love is a powerful tool. Yes, you're not a victim. The next level of consciousness, once you realize that they didn't come to hurt you, that's when you realize, life happens for me. So that's when you start manifesting things in life. And as you evolve from that state as well, the higher level is life happens through me. In other words, you raise your consciousness to a level where the divinity speaks through you, comes through you. You become a healer. You become a light to everywhere you go. All you have to do is to get out of the way. Just get out of the way. In other words, the ego, let it get out of the way. And then you will become a channel for the divine. And then the 4th level of consciousness, if life happens as me. This is the Christ consciousness. This is Christ. He embodied God. And this is where we're all headed. Hard to switch off victimhood. It is if you believe it's hard. You decide. You decide. I mean, literally, you can make this shift right now. It's a decision. Like right now, you can say, okay, I'm done with this fucking victim. I'm done. I'm done with that. Okay. That's it. So you can, and that means you need to give meaning. Read the book by what's his name, Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning. it will explain to you very, very clearly, no matter what happens in your life, you are the one who gives meaning to things. So whatever happens, it doesn't matter. It may look good or it may, by the way, this is very important, because when something good happens, we happen to get very excited. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Okay, but when that's the problem, because we get so excited about what's good and then we get so sad when something is bad. We need to learn to be in the middle. We need to learn to master our emotions, so we don't oscillate, because if we fall for the good, we're going to have to fall for the bad, you see? So it's a choice. It's a choice. It's you experiencing yourself. Absolutely, Hasid. You experiencing yourself. And the decision is on you to pick the role you want to play. Whatever role you want to play that one. Be an authentic one. And how do you choose your role? You ask your heart. What do you want to do? Who do you want to be? What makes you happy? What brings you joy? What makes you tick? You get a lonely feeling because it's all one and I'm all alone. Well, Hasid, you can't be lonely if you love yourself. So you just answered your own question right there. Once you love yourself unconditionally, you will not feel lonely anymore. Do you recommend Man's Search for Meaning? Yes, Man's Search for Meaning is a great book to read. Excellent book to read. Yes. And it has to do, again, with, I don't know if there's a meme that has been circulating for a while where it showed two people who, there's two people in jail, right? And all you see is the cell, and they're drawing, they're painting, and you see the window of the cell, and it's up and it has the bars, but through the bars you can actually see trees and stuff. And there's two guys in two cells. They have the exact same view, and one of the guys paints the bars because that's what he sees, and the other guy paints the trees because he sees past the bars. So you decide what you see. You have to twist things around so they are in your favor. There is a point in your journey where you can and should be a little crazy. Just be a little crazy, a little delulu. Don't tell anyone what you're doing. I couldn't stress more about this specific point. Do not share your journey with others. After you did it, you can. After you broke through, you can. But while you have a vision, I'm going to do this. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do the 90 days of gratitude. I'm not telling anybody. I'm going to do this whole thing of our shifting from victim to life happens for me. I'm not going to tell anybody. Don't tell people, because they will poke a hole in your frequency. I love the Lulu. The Lulu is my middle name. I can become my own best friend. Not just your own best friend, Hasid. True unconditional self-love. True unconditional self-love. In other words, you decide what to do. You decide how you're being treated. You decide where you're going in life. You decide what to accept in life. You make decisions for yourself. You don't let anybody make decisions for you. You don't play the playlist of somebody else's movie. You do your own playlist. You do your own movie. Thank you, Hasid. Thank you for following. Thank you guys for following. Love yourself. Absolutely. Yes. Awesome. Awesome. I love it. Thank you, guys. All right. Let me know if you have any other questions. I've been here almost 2 hours, and I think I'm going to let you guys go unless you have any other questions for me. But I do appreciate every single one of you here. I love you all. I'm happy I let go of my own apprehension to come on a live. Thank you, Divine Driving Tunes. And by the way, if you guys have questions for me, thank you, John. I appreciate it. If you guys have questions for me, you can always reach out and send me a message. If, like, in other words, if you get stuck on something, like You're doing your homework, you're doing your inner journey, you're doing your healing. You know, look, you can ask me, hey, how do I meditate? Go to my page. I have playlists on my page. Right above all the videos, there's some tiny little lines where all the playlists are, and you're going to find all the playlists you need with shadow work, with meditations, with all kinds of stuff, everything to do with quantum physics, everything to do with how we actually are a hologram. I described it. I had it downloaded into me. Like, it took me 4 years to finally birth it, but I did it right before I left for Romania. You will understand exactly what it means that we are a hologram. I'm not sure when I will be next, but I do plan to open a little bit more, because I feel that this is what's needed for me to start reintegrating in the in this vision that I have to share my story. So, and of course I've gone through some new breakthroughs and some new transformations in the past 5-6. This year has been massive for me. It's like the hero's journey. If you ever read Joseph Campbell's Hero's Journey, it's when the journey starts and it gets deeper and deeper and deeper, and eventually the journey ends when it's a circle, when the hero returns home to bring back what they learned. So I already went back home to Romania, to the womb, and healed whatever was left in there. But the home that my hero goes into, is my inner home. So I've returned to my inner home. We have to be the master of our emotions, and we decide the meaning that we give to others. Exactly. Do you ever fall out of this mindset? No. I shouldn't say that. Joy. Every now and then I have moments of anxiety, where, for whatever reasons, even simply with what I'm doing right now is just basically preparing my house. I put my house up for sale, but before it sells, I'm working on everything that I own, and my plan is to sell, give away everything that I don't need anymore. I mean, not that I don't need, but it's just there's stuff. It's matrix. It's something that there's no need for me to own so many things, to have so many things, and all of this stuff holds me into the physical reality. So I every now and then I'm like, oh, I gotta do that. So it's the have to do thing sometimes gives me anxiety. So I learned to do something, and I'm going to teach you this. This comes from the Hermetic principle of polarity. And I spoke about polarity in the very beginning. The principle of polarity tells you that everything has two poles. There are two sides to every coin. Yeah? There are two poles to everything, right? Polarity means, like I talked earlier, is that, there's light and dark, good and bad, or good and evil, whatever you want to call it, hot and cold. We have been programmed to believe that there are two different things. Hot and cold are two different things. But they're not. They're one and the same. Because all they are is two ends, two poles of the same thing. Because you never know where hot ends and cold begins. So that two ends of the same thing, right? So now if you happen to find yourself, and this is my personal example that I'm experiencing, and this is what I apply anytime I find myself triggered by anxiety. As soon as I get triggered, and lately I catch myself within 2 seconds. Like it used to take me a while. I'd be fussing around the house. Oh, I don't feel like doing it. And even with this live, like I really couldn't bring myself to do it because I haven't done a video in almost 2 months, and I haven't done a live in like 4 6 months or God knows what, you see. So I kind of had an anxiety about it. So the moment I catch my anxiety, what I do is this. I go, aha. So you literally turn it into a humorous situation. Yeah. Aha. Here I go, getting excited about my next move, about, whatever that is, right? About going on a life. Oh, here I am getting excited about getting rid of all my stuff and giving stuff away and selling things and all that stuff. So in other words, what you do is, the principle of polarity says that a force can be beaten with a higher force of the same category. You can beat heat, you can beat heat with cold, right? You can beat cold with heat. You can beat dark with light. It's a higher force of the same category, you see? So you find what is it that bothers you in this moment, become aware of it, immediately identify the opposite pole of it, and then focus on that. Because when you identify with that bothers you, that negative emotion that bothers you, it's still a fantasy. It's a made up story. It comes from your mind, right? You made it up. It comes in. It's a thought, and you suddenly get hooked on that thought. But the way our body feels, reacts, let's say, is the exact same way. And by the way, this is scientifically proven that our body registers the same kind of emotion, the same kind of frequency when we're in anxiety or when we are in excitement. So if I feel anxiety, because I know it's anxiety, because I know the reason why I'm anxious, right? That moment I know to shift, because the feeling tells me I know to shift in excitement. And that's it. You just transmuted darkness into light. And by the way, if you read the Emerald Tablets by Thoth the Atlantean, you will learn from him. Thoth, the Egyptian god Thoth, the god of writing and of wisdom, he said, ultimately, the only purpose we have as human beings is to transmute darkness into light. This is it, at every single moment. What does it really mean? Is to choose between fear and love. Always choose love. Thank you, Chili. Thank you. Lovely. So thank you. Oh, I love Thoth. Thoth is my man. He showed up in one of my mushroom journeys, and he told me to he sent me to it. Like, I've been in touch with Thoth constantly. I opened a Hermetic university at his guidance. That was the other thing that I did in the beginning of this year. I literally was guided to start this university, which, by the way, you will find playlists on there regarding the teachings, and they're all, for now, all teachings of Hermetic principles, Hermetic wisdom, which is explained instead of just reading it theoretically. It's with examples of life and with shadow work examples. If you go through my Hermetic University, you will learn the Hermetic principles, but you also will learn ways in which you can apply them on your life and in shadow work, so you can basically heal yourself. Yep, we are soul in a human body. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Yin and Yang. Yep. 90-day gratitude journal. Any recommendation for a 90-day gratitude journal? What do you mean by any recommendations for a 90-day gratitude journal? You mean the type of notebook to use, or let me know, Virginia. I'm not sure exactly what you mean. And if you want to write in Romanian, you can. Once you awaken, you can't be put to sleep again. That's correct, Lynn. Absolutely right. You can go back. You can go back. Now, you may have tendencies every now and then, but you become aware of them. You become aware, and then you correct them along the way. But you're never going to go all the way down, yes? What is your plan? My plan? My plan is just be and tell stories. Just be myself. Write books, share it with you guys, have fun with you guys, have fun with my mother in Romania. Thank you, Audrey. I appreciate it. I appreciate you so much. I am well. Yes, I had an accident this year. I'm telling you, you guys, this year has been like the oh my god, oh my god. January 30th, I went viral on TikTok. February 26th, and then I took it serious because I thought, oh my god, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So here I am and I'm doing videos every day, and I'm doing Hermetic University, and I'm doing lives every Tuesday, and I'm so involved, and I'm answering every questions and every comment, and I was overwhelmed to the point where I was like, I realized that and one day I said to myself, I'm doing exactly what I promised myself not to do, because I promised myself to not do anything that I have to do. I don't want to commit to anything that I have to do that is draining my energy. And I'm not saying doing videos and sharing all this stuff doesn't drain my energy. Is the fact that I have to do it at a certain time on a certain day, like that was the part that was affecting me. And then right after this turmoil that I was going to from January 30th to February 26th, on February 26th, I got hit by a dump truck, and it totaled my car, broke my nose, hurt my back, whole other thing, right? So after that, my dog died March 10. Then I was stuck in bed with lumbosciatica, which I couldn't even walk for like 3 months. I couldn't even walk. Eventually, I went to Romania with the back pain. I was in Romania for 3 months. Anyways, long story short, a lot of things happened this year. So, but I don't even know why I told you that story. But let's see what Virginia said, if she answered my question. I know. No, that's okay. No, it's all good. It's all good. Countering a new knowledge, learning till you adapt to it. Fall, yes, but awake and never go back. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Use your own advice. Yes, I am happy to see you and hear you without any expectation. Thank you. Beautiful. An author. Oh, you mean 90 Days of Gratitude, an author? For the book called Chakra Healing with Shadow Work? Is that what you're asking? I'm not sure. I'm still not understanding. Sorry. Dacă ați fost în România, de ce nu ați fost la Băi la Amara? Well, I actually went to Slănic, Moldova. My mom and I, and a cousin of mine with her daughter, we went to Slănic, Moldova for 10 days, and we Slănic, Moldova, they have this massive salt mines, and they have a swimming pool filled with salt water, like salt water to the point where you go in, you can't swim, like you can't really tip your body because you're gonna tumble over. You have to go in and just hang in there, just kind of flip your hands, and you're floating in there. You can float on your back if you want to, but don't try anything different. And it's very healing, and in fact it healed my back, so it helped me a lot. The book, Virginia, if I can find it, I'll tell you the name of the author right now, but if not, on my playlist books, there's a little playlist called Books on my profile. You will find in there. It's called Chakra Healing with Shadow Work. You can buy it on Amazon. I'm pretty sure you can get it in Romania if you're in Romania. Is Heretic You a training, a course with modules? Hermetic. No, it's not a course. It's not a course. I'm not doing any courses or anything like that. It looks like a course. It's not modules, but every video talks about, actually there's 2 videos per principles. There's 7 Hermetic principles. There's 2 videos per principle, and you can start from the top. The first one being the all is mind, the universe is mental, and you start with there. It's all free, no charges. It's not in the link in the profile. It's right above. See if I can find my TikTok account. Oh, there is my TikTok account. on my other phone, and I'm going to show you right now. Okay, so this is my account. These are my videos, right? Well, you see there's a little wheel here. And right after that little wheel, if you start going like this, you will go through all of my playlists. And for example, the books, since I have it right here, I am going to tell you the author of, okay, there you go. The author is Delphina Woods. Delphina Woods. That's the book you want to work on if you want to heal your chakras. Okay? Oh, and in my playlist, you will find the Hermetic University. Hermetic. Hermetic means closed, hidden. You see? It's been hidden all this time. Well, it comes from Hermes as well, so, because thought was also named Hermes in the Greek philosophy, so it becomes useless unless you really start something with the theories. Well, unless you implement them. If you don't, theories don't help you. Conscious knowledge doesn't help you unless you integrate it, unless you implement it, unless you practice it, unless you embody it. You can go for professional, yes, you can do hypnosis, but you can also self-hypnotize, Lynn. You can literally hypnotize yourself and self-heal. It's self-healing. I mean, we have it all within us, you guys. We have it all within us. Well, that's how I've done it, Lynn, through self-hypnosis. And in fact, that's how I ended up going to Arcturus, and that's how I wrote this book. And in this book, you will learn how to hypnotize yourself and how to go into your particular issues, whatever little unwanted emotions that you're still holding on to, and you can heal yourself with this. Yes, you guys are my vitamins. Absolutely. I mean, you really do energize me. Like, this is, look, I hate to say it, but it is some kind of a meaning, you know, because I don't attach myself to it. I don't, but it's just such a beautiful thing. It's like I'm going to tell you something. When this friend of mine who I've worked with for 2 days in a row, and I've given him some hints on, you know, maybe to shift some things in the way he approaches, not unlike what I just mentioned to you guys right now, to shift from the victim consciousness, shift from looking at the person you're interacting with, not as somebody who's hurt you, but somebody who's just there, and just you do you be you, and don't attach yourself to them. And then they reach out to me is that they implemented the theory that I gave them, and they put it in practice, and they saw a massive change in the relation immediately. Goosebumps everywhere. It's like I feel like I'm flying every single time something like this happens. It's so amazing. Yes, thank you, neighbor. Oh, neighbor, I love you so much. I absolutely adore you. I absolutely adore you. I just absolutely love your posts. I can't get enough of them. Thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing your wisdom. Thank you. Oh, by the way, you guys, please follow neighbor. Can I tag her somehow? Can I do something? It's follow the neighbor right here. Neighbor. Look her up. Okay, let me see. Maybe I can just put it in a comment. Can I put it in a comment? Let me see. I don't know. I don't even know how to do this, to be honest with you guys. I'm just so... See? Everything is a mess. Anyway, I don't know how to do it. But please follow neighbor. She is absolutely amazing. Amazing. Like, her brain just... Whew! I mean, it's not her brain. It's her entire consciousness. But... just the way she delivers it too. Yes, that's it. At the neighbor. Thank you, John. Appreciate it. Yay! All right, guys. Follow neighbor. Thank you. Follow each other. What am I talking about? Follow each other, you guys. We have to feed into each other. Because we're one. We're one. Remember, stay authentic. Stay who you are. Don't follow. The only one to follow is Jesus. That's it. Not in a religious way. And I'm not saying follow him as follow Jesus. No, follow what he did. He never asked to be worshipped. He never asked, no, but follow me. Why? I am the light. Be the light. Like him. Everything I can do, you can do, and better. That's what he said. I mean, I did not grow up. I grew up with religion till 13 years old, and then I dumped it all because I said, this is not for me. I'm not interested. My entire life I lived for 40 years. I was in the darkness. Just like the children of Israel, I was in the darkness of 40 years thinking that I'm on my own. And then I woke up and I met God, and God told me, be still and know that I am God, and so are you, and so is everybody else. And then I went into a psychosis because at that time I wasn't completely healed, and that's why I warn you, do not open your third eye until you're healed. I did it without being healed. So I had to heal myself afterwards. But when I went into a psychosis for 2 months, I cried constantly. I was in heaven, but I was crying constantly because I couldn't understand the meaning. What do you mean I am God? What do you mean I am God? And then I said, you know what? I'm just going to fucking make peace with Jesus. I couldn't stand the guy. I could not stand the guy. You talk to me about Jesus, I'll roll my eyes and turn my back. This is how I was. This is who I was. And then suddenly I started to read everything that Jesus ever taught. And by the way, this book right here will save your life. Save your life. This is it right here. The Gospel of Thomas. These are the very short writings of Jesus. If you understand these, somewhere in this book, it says that once you understand these principles, you will rule the world. So I started to learn from Jesus because I realized that if I was to understand what it means that I am God, he's the only one who can teach me. So I started to, people follow Jesus. I stalked Jesus. I still stalk him. I stalked Jesus for 3 years, 4 years. Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. And that's how I started to understand. I don't remember what the question was. I might have gone on a tangent on my own here. Thank you, you guys. Oh, so that's what I wanted to say. Just follow each other. Let's follow each other because we are one, and that's it. I was stalking Jesus because this is how I understood the meaning of I am God. Because if I wouldn't have started to read Jesus' teachings, I might have, who knows, I might have remained in a psychotic state. You see? But I was open to it, and I said, I'm just going to go ahead and surrender to it and allow Jesus to teach me what is it that I need to learn. And yeah, there was something that I wanted to say that Jesus taught us. I don't remember. I forgot. But there's several iterations of this book. I shouldn't say that. There's only one iteration of the Logions. But if you just read the Logions, because remember, Jesus spoke in parables. Jesus did not speak straightforward like we talk right now, right? He spoke in parables. So you need somebody to explain to you what they mean at first, because then after that, you're going to start having your own understanding once you sit in meditation, right? Like this book right here, not just this one, but the Logions of the Gospel of Thomas. The Gospel of Thomas is not written like any other book where there's a story and all that stuff. No, it's just some Logions. I can't remember how many, 100 and something, 114 or something like that too. I don't remember. Anyways, and each one of them is written in parables, and it's very hard to understand unless somebody explains it to you. So at first, because then you will start understanding them. So I want to say I have 5 versions of this book. 5 of the Gospel of Thomas, interpreted by 5 different people. This is the best that I found so far. This is the best. There's another very big one that I have that interprets it from a Kabbalistic way and many other kinds of ways. It's a little too complicated. Jean-Yves Leloup is the guy who published this one, and it is the best interpretation of the Logion of the Gospels of Thomas. Bertha, you still here? 114. Do you want to pop in? Do you want us to talk? Do you want us to get together here? You have a little something that you want to share with us? I don't know how to invite you, but maybe you can ask to be invited. I'm clueless with this thing. So if you can invite yourself, I'll accept. I would love it if you would join. I thought you were gone. I saw you earlier and suddenly, let me see, I'll invite her. I just figure out how to invite her. Invitation sent. Oh, okay, good. I made the invitation. If she's coming, she's coming. If not, not. And by the way, follow Bertha too. Please do follow Bertha. Right here, Bertha. Okay, follow Bertha, you guys. Amazing. Oh my God. Everything that I speak of, she speaks multiplied. I mean multiplied. Okay, thank you, Barbie, Jean-Yves Leloup. Yes, thank you. Woohoo! I love it. Oh man, we're doing it here. Okay, well, I said I was leaving and I haven't, and I'm leaving now. E timpul să strălucești. Thank you so much. Who sent me this? That's beautiful. Oops. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you. I love you. I think I'm going to hit the hay. I'm going early to bed these days. There's a blank paragraph on the comment section. A blank paragraph under the... It's in your settings. Huh. Settings. Comment settings. Allow comments. Filter on. Show the most... I don't know. I know, Monaxia, right? Nature is making you look beautiful as the queen you are. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Thank you, Passion Hunter. All right, I am going. I love you. I love you. I appreciate you. And stay tuned for more. Okay, I'm turning it off right here. Bang.